Ask him about the reason.
That's shaykh right now for the city of Jerusalem, and all cities that have a din that they may have such a something, which is our city. Think about it for a second. The whole notion of basic joy of a Jew really comes from this idea of Tov Leiv Mishta Tamid. Tov Leiv Mishta Tamid. You know what that means, Noah? What does it mean?
A good heart.
Yoshua, what does it mean? Tov Leiv Mishta Tamid.
No one just said it.
Huh?
No one just said it.
What does it really mean? You're all about making the word Benimius. I think it's a very important word for us. Tov Leiv Mishta Tamid. I had a friend, a great mashpia.
He's a drunk but not from a wine.
Drunk but not from wine.
Yes, from Hashem.
Only from Hashem?
Wait, you see what it says it?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not sure that you're going simply by the halacha there, even though I understand your desire for that to be true. We don't want to think about our simcha being an animalistic simcha based on physical desires. It's not Jewish. But when it comes to the Indian of simchas halev, but understand there's different levels of simcha. There is such a simcha, for example, in Purim, the sume.
Rav.Pasternak, you mean that? You mean that?
Why is it basume? Why basume? You could also not basume. And you could be besimcha. Adrabah, you could be besimcha because you have a mitzvah. Even as I said, you can get simcha because samach nechagecha. You can be besimcha. Zman simcha seinu. There's weird levels of simcha where there's different hanhagas that you have to do in order to tap into that simcha. For example, some simcha is simcha on mayim, which is not mistake at all. You just drink, you don't even drink it, you just give Hashem water. There's no tam, there's no taste, and that's in a certain sense the greatest simcha. But again, it's only a simcha d'oraisa. It's like the Indian of lo achiyah, lo shtiya. There's a simcha of Kippurim, where you just stay away from all the world because your simcha is a simcha ruchani. It's a simcha which has nothing to do with olam hazeh agashmi. It's not, you're not involved. But then there's this weird thing that nobody really understands. It's a little bit l'mayla mitam b'das, where this wise and discerning nation comes together once a year with a clear instruction and Maisa Rav. Maisa Rav. You know, the Rebbe in 1958 walked out of 770. No one likes to talk about it. I mean, something we really like to talk about. We don't have to say it. But you know, when he came out after dawn, after Farbringin, that was the year, by the way, he said, anyone who wants to become rich, raise your hand. Anyone who wants to become rich, raise your hand. Yeah. Well, listen, we've learned our lesson. We learned the lesson. But and that Farbringin, the Rebbe sort of, I don't want to say stumbled out of 770, but he walked out of 770, and whatever were the contents of what he ate and drank. There was Chassidim that went in. Yes, there was Chassidim because it's not normal. It's Ish Kadosh. It's a goof Kadosh. What's he doing with this wine Maisa? But the Rebbe actually explains that there's something called such a thing called Anshe Kodesh from time immemorial. And it started off with Nadav and Avihu. And there's a concept in Yiddishkeit of doing something which is called Tohu Shebetiku. And I came across this topic before it became personal to me. I came across this topic when I was just reading my Siddharim in the Rebbe's Torah. And I came across this reality that the Rebbe says there's such a thing called Tohu, which is part of the Torah, and it's an actual healthy, organized way of being a healthy Jew. And he says that it's mamash l'mayla, it's above all gevuli. Torah in general the concept is, even if you're going to be mevazbeis, al yevazbeis yosem michomesh, you can't give away more than you should. And every carbon has to have many, many levels of boundaries. It has to be kosher animals, and only this many years old. It has to be free from all blemishes. And your tefillin, they have to be exactly black and square. All the rules, which represents the Indian of tikkun, which is synonymous with Torah. But the Rebbe says that there is such a thing inside of Torah called tohu in the Torah. And he brings a few examples of it. And the first example he brings, what? You can't drive.
Rav.Pasternak, you can't drive it.
I'm not going anywhere. I've planted myself right here. So he says, for example, look at the beginning of the Torah. It says that there's 2,000 years of Tohu that preceded the 2,000 years of Tikkun. Where were the 2,000 years of Tikkun given? When Avraham Avinu was born, when Avraham Avinu was the first to end the era of darkness on the earth, and he was the first Jew. He started the 2,000 years of Tikkun. But where are the 2,000 years of Tohu? The Rebbe says they're in the Torah. You read the Bereshis, you read the Shtickle Noah. By the time you get to Lech Lecha, you just had 2,000 years of Tohu in the Torah. And he says, what do you see from here? There's Tohu in the Torah, in the Tikkun. And then he brings out more Mashalim and more Mashalim. He starts talking about Nadav and Avihu. And he says that they drank wine in the Holy of Holies, and Eish Zara, and the whole 9 yards. And he says, but what? Only after they died do we get the commandment, Yain v'sheichar al teisht. We don't have a commandment that did something wrong.
Nobody said
Which means, and Adarabba, Mikadoshai, Michamodai, what is that pasuk?
Kadesh.
Mikadesh, Mikrovai Kadesh, Mikrovai Kadesh. You just had it, yeah? Which means that they were holier than Moshe and Aaron. Then everybody starts to go into this thing, and how are they holier than Moshe and Aaron? That's really a gutsy thing to say. Because Moshe and Aaron, you know? You know what I'm saying? Moshe Kibbutz Torah Sinai, Masur Yoshua. Really? This is not like Stam the Chevra Farbringin. This is Rashi and Chumash, and there's a pasuk Meforash. They were holier than Moshe and Aaron. What do you mean by that exactly? So he says, wait a second, there's dargas. Let's get it started up straight. When it comes to Torah, Moshe Kibbutz Torah Sinai. Moshe was like king of Tikkun. But in Torah, there's a darga called Tohu of Tikkun. And in this level, Nadav and Avihu had that going for them greater than Moshe and Aaron together. That they were sort of the pioneers of this thing that it's kosher. It's not Tohu in the sense of Esav and all Yimach Shemam. It's in the Torah. It's 2,000 years of Tohu in the Torah. It's Nadav and Avihu before the sin. They didn't sin. They didn't go against Torah. Right. The Torah had to come after them and sort of clean up after them because they were hitting a level of Kedusha which was L'mayla Mitam B'das. It was like it's really the shorish of Torah in the Torah. Because that's what it says by Rabbah, Shachted Rabbi Zera. And the Rebbe explains that that's the Indian of Nadav and Avihu. And it come Rabbah, where he got up and he reached this level of total Tohu. Mamish was in the Sudas Purim. And from here we learn a Ma'aser Rav, Adelo Yada. And the Rebbe says that it's a level of halacha, that we learn from them how to act meshugana. Mamish to a place of and it's not something that's done with water. It's not something that's done with water. You know, there is such a simcha, which is l'mayla mitam v'das, which we do with water, and that's midaraisa. But there's a simcha we do with yain kipshuto, and it has to do with mamish being a stickle tohu, but it's kosher. It's in the Torah. And then, lucky me, I was reading the Torah of the Rebbe, and I came to a little footnote, and the Rebbe said, actually, the Rebbe Rayat said that the birthday parsha that you were born on, which by the way we should discuss, born on, and also you have your bris on it, and he says that's what born and bris is shaykh to the tafkid of your entire life. And I said, oh, I'm gonna go check this out because I wasn't quite sure because I was born in Pesach, And I know that in Pesach we read Kol B'chor, Kadesh Li Kol B'chor. That's on my birthday. I didn't have B'chor. But the idea is that I didn't know what the chitas was, because what chitas is always a different day. It's not always the same parsha. It depends on what year it is. So I went back and checked out the day of my birth, and it comes out that in Parsha Shmini, on the little few psukim that's about Nadav and Avihu bringing Eish Zara to the Beis Hamikdash, that's the day I was born. And this I realized before I started. I was just reading this. It explains everything. It really explains everything. My friends, I have a lot of critics, but I'll tell you the truth is there's some. I have a lot of fans. Yeah. But there's an Indian that it makes sense. And what better for a bold truvia issue, right? That's what it is. You have to be a mashugana in this world. You can go all very nice on your dargas and find your place and do step by step. If you weren't born in Mamish, the middle of Mitzrayim, Kipchuto, where you have to be a mashugana just to be normal. We had a speech here from a lady. She was saying, we crazy people in Tzfas, and Rabbi Yonasan stopped her. He said, hold on a second, where are you from, California? You should say these crazy people in San Francisco. In Tzfas, you come to be normal. Because the truth is that you have to, but to get out of San Francisco, you have to be crazy, Shema crazy, because you thought the crazy was normal. So to come to the realization that this crazy is crazy, what do you have to be? You have to be a Lubavitcher. You have to be a Nadav and Avihu. And so again, this Indian of Tohu Shebatikun, somehow I have I resonate with this. I always have. It's a weird thing. And somehow they give, I'm kosher. I don't know how. They let me get away with this. But it's mamish madness in a very concentrated way. And the Indian is that is why I believe I have this deep, deep passion about Purim and the suffix of Purim. And the whole idea of Purim, of course, is Tohu Shebatikun Mamish Nichtav B'Tvas HaMelech. That's what that is. It's Tohu Shebatikun. We have a mamish, a whole holiday where you're enjoined and encouraged, despite the ladies who, with all their grace and comfort, and say, hey, it's not on wine, it's on water. Take it easy. It's ruchnis. And I say l'chaim, bottoms up. Because that's
60% water.
60%, whatever.
40% water. 60% water.
L'chaim.
60% water. L'chaim. Rabbi, you're saying you're digging the holidays.
Yeah, the holidays.
Holidays. 60% water.
As you could say, if Rubo could also
No, but
say,
the point is,
oh,
it goes much deeper than that.
Wait.
I'm going to wait.
I'll let you go.
It goes much deeper than that. Why? Because there is, when Mordechai said, he was talking to children on the streets of Shushan. And these children on the street of Shushan, right? They just had it right there. They knew what to say. They had Torah flying to their heads. There's children on the street of Sfas, even children on the street of Sfas, they know this word from the Arizal. Even though Rabbi Goldstein said it's not from the Arizal, so I'm not going to say that it is, God forbid, because meet God don't be Rabbi Goldstein.
He didn't say it's not. He didn't. That's correct. He did not say it's not from the Arizal. He just said he hasn't yet found it.
Right. And I'm telling you that after he told me that, and he mamish was upslugging all of Tzantz and all of Chabad and all, and I said, well, I love this guy. I want to be around this guy. He's got some big kochos to mamish tell everybody that they're wrong, and he's probably right. But I went on a big search. And the place that you do find it mamish in the Torah is in the Chida. And the Chida was a student of the Arizal. So Mistama, he didn't make it up himself, because that's already too good. But what is the word that everybody knows? Ivan Lemo Shablo. Ivan Lemo Shablo. I don't have to tell everybody, because everybody knows, right? Serious? Yeah. David Peretz.
Yeah.
What is the Indian of Ivan Lemo Shablo? Its connection with Tzfas.
If you do the advash of Iva, it's Tzfat.
Yeah. And what does it mean? Hashem Bachar B'Tzion. Bachar, Hashem Osios Charav. Hashem destroyed Jerusalem. Eva, he made Adbash Tzfat Moshavlo. And from here comes the Arizal, the Beis Yosef, And the Arizal when he came to Shfas, he said, Zeh Shara Shemayim. Someone asked me yesterday, why are there so many shuls in this neighborhood? David came to my house. He's like, can we find a Mari? I was like, I think so. We walked out of my house, we turned right, there's a Mari. Turn left, Mari. Straight, Mari. He said, how many shuls in this town? He said, there's 65 shuls in the old city. He said, why? There's only 65 people in the old city. I told him, because in the days of the Hasidim, of the Rebbeim of the time in Europe, everybody knew this word of the Arizal. It's not just the Sfat kids that know this. Everybody knew. Because the Arizal came here, he's Magala Torah Asod, and Razi Deraisa, and Razi Deraisa in Sfas, and Imamish came here specifically for just 2 years before he was Niftar. Sfas! He came here because this is Shar Hashemaim, Shar B'Gematria, Sfas. And he said, this is the gate of heaven. All the brakim of the Arizal, he calls them the Sharim. Perik Zeh, the Shar. It's like saying Sfat this, Sfat Ak, Sfat Erech Anpin, Sfat this. It's all Sfat. He came here to do this because there's a different thing going on here completely. And what is going on here? Iva Lamo Shatlo. Hashem took the Shekhinah, put it here. What is Iva? Is Lashon Aleph, Vav, K, which is famously the letters which are missing in the pasuk. Yad Alkeis Ka Malik Hashem B'Kol Dur. I didn't say it exactly right, but there's a war against the Yad. The hand of God is on the throne of the hand of Hashem is on the throne of God for all his war against the Malik for every generation. And the word for throne and the word for Hashem is cut in half. Instead of saying Kisei, it says case. Instead of saying Havaya, it says Ka. And Rashi. He says, Eina Kisei Shalom, Eina Shem Shalom, Ad Nechias Amalek. The throne is not whole, the name is not whole until we destroy Amalek. What are the missing letters? Aleph, Vav, K, and those are the same letters of Iva, which is Sfas. And therefore, this is I said every kid in Sfas knows this. This is our local legend. This is our life that you live. And you think it's just a vort that you heard before. Guess what? So is the Megillah. But you read it again every year, and you darshan it again every year, because it's a fact and it's true, and you have to remind yourself what's going on with the world. There's an Esther, there's a Mordechai, there's an Eva, and there's a Moshavlo, and there's an Aleph, and there's a Vav K, and where do you find them? How do you mash in the Shem Hashem and the Kisei Hashem? From Sfas. Why? Because the Sfas is a makum of tov. It's tzafam to the Reyacha. Right? This is not a regular place. This is a place which is talked about in Sfarim, of where the hidden light, the Or HaGanuz is found. That Or HaGanuz is called the Pnimius of Torah, and it's basically what's mashlim the Aleph and the Vav Kei of Shem Hashem. And therefore, those who live here, and those who are shluchim here, and those who have a brith here, and their grandchildren here, and a bracha from the head shliach on the brith to say that your grandson has a special bracha from the Rebbe to be a shliach in Tzfas. You missed it. There's something that, and this is mashpil on every single kol echad ve'echad, which each one of us is shliach in Tzfas, and each one of us is mamash a bracha directly from God to know that you're here to bring the Aleph and the Vav K to the entire world. So you have to realize that our Inyan is Purim. Because when did the Aleph and the Vav K get kicked out of the world? Milchamas Amalek. And therefore Tzfas is also in the Sheva which where Naphtali resides. And Naphtali is the 12th of the tribe, and it goes on the month of Adar. And therefore all the whole Gans here Purim in Tzfas, and we mean that. Because what is Purim? Purim is the Megillas Esther, it's the Pnimius, it's the Sonos of the Torah. And those things live here. And because they live here, and our insides are always out, we're not like everybody else. Know this. You're not like everybody else. We don't know what's going on in the world, and we don't care what's going on in the world. What's bothering us is if this guy died an extra 15 minutes or he didn't die an extra 15 minutes. And he's going to be all verklempt and worried that his chaver next to him didn't daven by Arichus because he only davened for an hour and 15 minutes. And it's not enough. And that's what's bothering us. That's literally our problem over here. It's like, I'm in a yeshiva with all kinds of Talmidim Chachamim and Talmidim, and this is the problem that we have. Thank God. Right? Because there's no world that we have to discuss. So the only thing that we're thinking about is how deeply can we connect to the Mamash Aleph and the Vav K, which is missing for everybody else. This is our problem, and this is our avodah. But this is why we have to celebrate Purim in a way that other people do not. And that's why even when you bring a Vadai walled city to the Rabbanim, they say, no, we're going to leave it as a Suffolk walled city. Because by the Arizal was a Suffolk walled city, and Suf is Gematria Malik, and that's our job here, to destroy him with our being every day of the year. So if that's what we are every day of the year, and it is, it's a Shevet Naftali. This is what happens here. We are the Panemius of Am Yisrael because of the Dalet Amos where we live. This is where it happened. And even if you want to say that was many years ago, no, it's not. They're having doubled down. And when he sent his Shluchei Aretz, he sent it to some foregone crazy place with chickens running in the road called Sfas, where there was nothing to do there except sit in Kola and learn Kabbalah. And in fact, their shlichus was so unusual because he didn't tell them to go on Mifzoim. He told them to sit and learn. All these Gedolim, they became the Shluchei Aretz. Their original tafkid was to sit and learn in Kola, which is the most unique shliach you ever heard in your life. A regular shliach does that, he gets a patch and tuchis. That's not what he's supposed to do. But in Tzfas, we have a different tafkid over here. Because we have to just be mamish osik and pnimiyas of Torah and have machias of Malik in a regular state of affairs. And here comes Menachem Mendel Glass, who mamish comes after all this and he decides, you know what, hold on Zion Adar, I've got plans for these people. And he comes in on a suffix of a suffix. You don't even know if you're saying Tachnun or Al Nisim or what you're supposed to do with yourself. And he says, we're going to sit together for bring, and we're going to mamash have Mechias and Malik in the 16th of Adar. How do you like that? It's not even on the chart. We're going into the hole where there's not even a shortish in the Torah Shabbat Peh. It's not even the Torah Shabbat Peh. It's like something the Chachamim outside of the Mishnah found for us, which is like Chol Shabachol, like my holy Machatana was saying, that the Indian of Purim is that Mordecai asked that it should be with Bitul Malachas and nullify the Malachas, but no, it's the Indian of the it's a regular weekday. There's no Shem Hashem. It's all natural events. No L'mayla Min HaTeva, and that's the greatest nace. So a day you're not even sure if it's Purim, and now you're not even sure it's Purim. It's a 16th, not even on the day. And maybe I should celebrate. Tov Lev Mishta Tamid. We learned this concept from Purim, and it's not on water. It's on wine. And you mamish have a good heart, and therefore you're Mishta Tamid on a regular day. Even at the mocking of your Talmid in your holy Talmid, you say, you're mamish a Tohu Yid. Get yourself together, Pasternak. And I would say simply, L'chaim.
L'chaim.